Hello, everyone, and welcome to what is going to be hopefully the first of two exercises. I suggest watching these in the order that I state on the files. This one is called Simple Properties. Last week, I believe I sort of talked about this Properties tab over here on the right a little bit, or it might have been probably in the Flash Basics video. And the idea here is that we're going to sort of take the sort of simple things that you've done with the motion tween and the shape tween, and we're going to sort of alter those things. Remember, the idea on these first few exercises, and we'll get into projects here in a couple weeks, is to lay the basics for how we animate. We're going to sort of expand upon what we did, again, on shape tween and motion tween. The second exercise, frame by frame, is a totally different way of animating, and we're going to sort of touch upon that in the next video. I should be able to get through this exercise in one video, as well as the next. So let's head into this. I said in the week 3 document that we're going to be reviewing a few things. In this case, it's just going to be making some simple symbols. So let's do that. On my step-by-step, and I've broken this apart into a few different sort of sections to make it easier to kind of digest. I'm going to skip ahead to step 4. We've already created the document. It says double click on the layer 1 in the timeline and call it red square. I think I mentioned last week layers over here, but this is going to become very, very important. If I sort of already said this, I'm going to repeat it because it's very, very important. The more you organize over here in the layers, the better. Separating things out so that you can sort of alter them in the timeline is just going to make your life much easier. If elements, meaning sort of symbols and later movie clips, sort of live in the same space, same time, same tweens, it becomes very confusing. So labeling these things, and we just do that by double clicking, is going to make your life much easier. Things match up. We'll have a red square over here in our library. We'll have a red square over here in the timeline. It says that click on that layer 1 and name it red square. At the top where there are various menus items, choose insert new symbol. This should be review at this point. This is making a new symbol. It says name the symbol red square. We're going to do that. On the drop down menu, make sure it's set to graphic. Remember, this is the most simple. And also remember, when we click on this, we sort of move into the library. We see this big white space. It says choose the rectangle tool in the toolbox, and then also choose a fill color and the stroke color to none. So this is kind of practice. We're going to choose a red. Our fill color right here should be none. Click, hold, and draw a square. We can make a perfect square by holding down Shift on our keyboard. Okay, so we're making a very sort of simple graphic. I'm going to position it here. All right, I have a red square. Remember, we're inside the library here. So step 11, click on scene 1 at the left. This pops us back to our actual scene. Don't get confused. You'll see up here that this is named layer 1. That should also indicate that we are not in the scene where we have a layer labeled red square. Step 12 says take the graphic from the library and drop it down on the stage bottom left. So I'm going to take this and put it down here. Again, all of this should be review at this point. Next, it says move up to frame 60 and click on that frame. And I'm going to right-click on that. If you can't do that, you can maybe control-click, or you can, and I'm giving you a few options here. You can just insert a frame there. Okay, so I'm going to get into some shortcuts, and I'm just going to insert a frame. Remember, this just extends out the movie. Our movie up to that point was only 60 frames. We need it to be, or sorry, only one frame, and we need it to be 60 frames. Next, it says choose any frame in between the 1 and 60. Okay, and again, I am right-clicking, or you can sort of, and there are going to be multiple choices here, or you can go up to insert motion tween, but I'm going to right click because I'm going to make things faster. It says choose create motion tween. Again, there are a few different ways that can happen. If your mouse is different than mine, you might have to go to insert motion tween. Next, it says click on frame 60. And again, this should be review. With the black selection, I'm at step 20 now. with the black selection tool, the black arrow, grab the red square and move it to the top right of the stage. Okay, so we're creating sort of our tween frames and sort of creating a simple motion tween. Okay. Next, and this is where it should be new. Again, I've gone fairly quickly through those steps. This should all, there's nothing new at this point. The only thing new may be that right click. It says, looking here, click on step 21. Click on any frame between 1 and 60. Okay. And then it says click on, step 22, choose your properties tab, which may be connected to your library. If you don't see your properties tab, go to Window, Properties. Remember, I'm working in Classic, so if we're working in Classic, it should look quite similar to this. My properties tab always looks like it's sort of right next to the library. And then it says under Rotation, and this is sort of, we have different options. This is basically the properties of this tween. You'll see that I have the tween selected, or the motion tween. This is sort of grayed out right here. The reason being is that I'm sort of altering this tween. Okay, so I'm going to choose right here, and it's kind of small, I'm going to rotate this thing 3 times. Okay, I can sort of do it clockwise or counterclockwise, but I'm just going to leave it as such. Now what I've done, and you can sort of see with the playhead, I've attached a property to that tween, and depending on how long my rotation is, I am going to rotate that thing 3 times. Okay, this is pretty quick. It's happening within 60 frames, which is about 2.5 seconds. Remember, we have 24 frames per second. Okay, so make sure you have this portion correct before we head forward. Now, the next few steps are really kind of repeating what we've done, but just sort of practicing. As we move through the semester, I'm going to often just leave stuff like this to you, but since we're only in our really second week of instruction here, I'll do these in the video so we can sort of practice it. It says create a new layer in the timeline and call it purple square. So I'm going to call this purple square. Next it says create a new layer in the timeline and call it green square. You can probably see where this is going. Now, when we insert those new layers, you'll see that these layers occupy the same amount of space. We really can't sort of alter we can, but it sort of assumes that purple square and green square are going to sort of take up the same amount of space that red square does, and that's a good thing. Okay. Now, it says step 26, and this is, I sort of summarize something that we've already done. Insert 2 separate new symbols, make 1 purple square and 1 green square. You're repeating steps 5 through 10, basically. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do that. Insert a new symbol. I'm going to call it purple square. Remember, I'll pop over into the library here. I'm going to choose a purple. And I'm going to make a square approximately that same size. Okay. Next thing, it says, I'm still sort of inserting those. Insert new symbol. And position that. So over my library now, you'll see I have those 3 symbols, and we're sort of setting ourselves up for the rest here. Okay, so just to backtrack here, step 26, insert 2 new symbols, make 1 purple square and 1 green square. Pretty straightforward. Step 27 says create motion tweens across the same 60 frames on the respective layers. Rotate each of these symbols in positions noted on the video. Okay, so I'm going to quickly do that. I'm going to click on purple square here. I'm going to go over, whoops, and I'm going to grab purple square. Okay, I'm going to put that in the middle. Okay, and I'm now going to get the green square. And it doesn't matter, these are slightly different sizes. Now, what it says is, whoops, I made a mistake. I need to make sure I'm on the green square layer when I pop that down. Okay, remember my bit about staying organized? I made a slight whoops there and pop that down on the purple square. So at this point I should see up here, I haven't done anything to these two symbols, nor their layers, nor their tweens. So we still only see these positioned in a static way down here. So the two things I need to do, and step 27 is just a summary of what that creating the tween does. It says create motion tweens across 60 frames on the respective layers. Rotate as noted in the video. So hopefully we've gotten the hang of it here. So I'm going to go to purple square and I'm going to go create motion tween. I'm going to go up to green square and I'm going to create motion tween. Now I'm going to go back to purple square. I'm going to simply move this up. Okay. I'm going to go to frame 60 on my green square. I'm going to move this one across. And then last but certainly not least, because that's what this is about, I want to click on the tween, okay, of the purple square, and I want to rotate this one as well. So I'm going to hit 3 on that rotation. And again, I'm moving through this kind of quickly, but you're just repeating the steps that we've done basically on that creating the tween with rotation, the sort of middle chunk of the step-by-step. I'm going to click on the green squares tween, and I'm going to choose a rotation of 3 there. Okay, so we've done the same thing 3 times, and we should see a rotation happening as such. Okay. Next it says, and I'm popping over, we're going to save this file. You're going to save it as your first name, last name, _ simple properties. Again, you are giving me the Swift file, the file that is created when you do this. You're going to go Control, Test, Animate, Test Movie in Animate, and you should get something like this. The only difference is yours should be saved as your first name, last name, _ simple properties. Remember, we never type in Swift, we never type in .fla. When we go to save files, we see that in that dialog box. Okay, it says hand this in on the week 3 Dropbox. So this is pretty much simple properties. Email me with any questions.